is a presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are St. Louis.
This is St. Louis Cardinals baseball and a beautiful night here in the Gateway City. It's game number one of this three-game weekend series, the Milwaukee Brewers and the St. Louis Cardinals. Let's flash back to 2012. The longest home run ever hit at Busch Stadium 3, 469 feet. That was until last night. Brandon Moss against Chris Young. Man, 477 feet. Moss is in the lineup tonight. The Cardinals are hitting a ton of home runs, but they're not winning at home. With the Mad Hungarian Al Raboski, I'm Dan McLaughlin. Jim Hayes is also here. So we know the club has had good starting pitching this past month. Obviously hitting home runs. Offense has been good, but yet they struggle at home. We turn the page on June. We say hello to July. What do we know about this team?
I'm not sure we know everything about this team because we've seen a breakdown in just about every aspect at different times through the season. But I think everything that we have seen negative or go wrong is all correctable. And I think it starts tonight where this team's got to start playing more baseball, heads-up baseball, Cardinal baseball, and that will start tonight behind Jaime, who has great success against the Brewers.
Matt Garza will get the call for the Milwaukee Brewers here tonight. So far, so good for the right-hander. Jaime at times sensational. One of those starts this year against Milwaukee. He gets the call tonight. The This night, it's the Cardinals and Brewers tonight on Fox Sports Midwest. Taking a look at some of the numbers to digest so far the first 3 months of this regular season. Some good, some bad. Single games this season for the Cardinals. You'd love to see the offense. 8 or more runs, 21 times. It's been the errors, though, of concern for the Cardinals. St. Louis with 62 to lead all of Major League Baseball. The quality starts have been there. We'll see if that continues tonight for Jaime Garcia. The Redbirds looking for some good D here tonight and start a winning streak. Start the winning ways at home. We're about to find out. Baseball comes your way next. Fall on Fox Sports Midwest is brought to you by Budweiser. This Bud's for you. By Chevrolet. Visit your local Mid-America Chevy dealer for great prices on the all-new 2016 Malibu. And by Menards. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. Temperatures are ideal for this 4th of July weekend. Fireworks coming up later tonight here at the ballpark, along with Al Raboski and Jim Hayes. I'm Dan McLaughlin. 80 degrees as the Cardinals welcome in the Milwaukee Brewers for this weekend series. Jonathan Villar leads the league in stolen bases with 26. He'll lead it off, followed by Aaron Hill, then Ryan Braun, who's been red hot. Jonathan Lucroy hitting above 300. Chris Carter third in home runs. Hernan Perez, Scooter Gennett, Keon Broxton, just 3 hits this season on the road. And the pitcher batting ninth, Matt Garza. Jaime Garcia, last time out against Seattle, gave up 5 runs on 10 hits, 5 2/3 against the Mariners. Last time at this ballpark against Milwaukee, he was dominant. A Thursday afternoon game. Went the distance, 1-hit complete game shutout. Only walked 1, 13 strikeouts. And with 13 strikeouts, 9 innings under his belt, it only took 104 pitches.
It was very special that day, and he's won 10 games against Milwaukee. That ties for the most wins against any team. Ties him with Cincinnati with 10. So he's pitched very good baseball. And we know he pitches well here, but particularly when he pitches at home during the day game is when he's really on.
Milwaukee comes in with 67 stolen bases this year. We'll see if Molina is tested early on, with Villar at 26 of those 67 steals. He gets a base hit into left, and we're underway here in the first. The Cardinals with 62 errors, leading Major League Baseball. Holiday in left. Tommy Pham gets the start in center field. Brandon Moss is in right. Peralta, Diaz, Carpenter, and Adams along the infield. Molina is behind the plate. Brings in Aaron Hill, the former Diamondback. He was involved in the Gene Segura deal, and he's hitting .277.
You got to pay attention to Villar. He leads the major leagues with his steals of 26. Aaron Hill, good ball player, but he struggled against St. Louis this year, just 1 for 15.
And the first pitch gets by Molina, and he slips going for that loose baseball. Be interesting to see how much the Brewers want to run this weekend, and in particular tonight. 8 attempts against Garcia, second most to Mike Leake on the staff, as you saw Molina take a tumble there.
Ball up there we always talk about, but it's got to be a pass ball. Puts the runner in scoring position. How tough it is to catch Yachty with all of his movement.
Home plate umpire is the crew chief tonight, Jerry Meals. Sean Barber at first, Ron Kolpa at second, Chris Conroy down at third. Garcia has faced the Brewers twice this season. That first game was dominant. Complete game shutout, 1-hitter. Second time in Milwaukee, 2 runs on 5 innings. Wound up being a 3-1 loss for the Cardinals.
And the Cardinals have that 7-game losing streak here at home over 3 series, but they've gotten a quality start in every one of those 7 losses.
The 2-1 pitch. Ground ball that's hit to short, backhanded by Diaz. Slings it over to first. Nice stretch by Adams. And that keeps Villar at second base.
Good to see. And Ledmy's back in the lineup after popping that ball off his eye socket. But here in the hole, kind of surrounds the ball a little bit, get a little momentum behind it, a little short throw, but Adams there for the pick. And most importantly, Villar has to stay at second base.
Here's Ryan Braun. He has the most extensive resume against Jaime Garcia. 57 plate appearances against the Cardinals lefty. Only 13 hits. Comes in riding an 11-game hitting streak. And this year, one of the top performers against left-handed pitching, 365 his average.
And he's hitting 409 during that 11-game hitting streak. So, see if Jaime can't stop him here.
1 out and a runner at second base. VR. Strike one. Seven-game home losing streak, longest since 1983. Another loss would match the 1958 Cardinals. And the only other teams with worse home records this season, the Angels, Twins, Diamondbacks, and Braves.
And the Brewers acknowledge they're a rebuilding stage.
Runner goes. Chop towards short. VR will stop at third. And Braun is out at first. Nice play again by Aledmys Diaz. Would have been interesting to see if VR would have just rounded third and kept going.
I was thinking the same thing, that he would do that, especially with that ball in the dirt. You know, Aledmys really wasn't in a position to really see if he's breaking or to throw home. So he only play is here to first base and makes a very nice play to do that. But with Pillar's great speed, if he would have just taken off and kept on running, would have been very, very close. You know, I lost a game to the Toronto Blue Jays when I was with Kansas City. The winning run was on second base, bottom of the 9th inning, and a ground ball to George Brett at third. And Bob Baylor was the runner at second and never stopped. Clint Hurdle was playing first base and didn't react well. And then when he did react, he overthrew home plate and lost the game. I was a little ticked. On a ground ball to third.
You think about that play, many runners just take it for granted and they stop at third. Infielders same way.
You know, I said I was ticked for losing it, but I always had great respect for Bob Baylor for doing it. And always in my back of my mind said, here's a hustling winning ball player.
1 ball, 1 strike with 2 outs. Runner at third. Be interesting to see what Garcia throws to Lucroy, and I bring that up because Lucroy off-speed pitches hitting 320. Some of the best numbers against changeups, curveballs. 320 his average.
Also, the last 3 games, Lucroy is 5 for 11, 455 average. So he's coming in here and he's going to get challenged.
You mentioned that the Brewers are rebuilding. They acknowledge that. 2 key pieces for them potentially. One of them at the plate, Lucroy, and the other we just saw, Ryan Braun for Craig Counsell's club. Craig took over for Ron Renneke. This will be his first full season at the helm. And it's a swing and a miss. He struck him out. So Garcia picks up the strikeout. And his first of the night. There's no score. Right-handed starter tonight for the Milwaukee Brewers. Meanwhile, for the Cardinals, it's been an amazing run. Leads a club in RBIs, doubles, triples, walks, on-base percentage, and it's that man right there. Live look at Matt Carpenter. He'll lead it off. Then Diaz, Matt Holliday, Brandon Moss, Johnny Peralta, Matt Adams, Yadier Molina, Tommy Pham, and the pitcher Jaime Garcia. Garza is a 32-year-old who allowed 4 runs on 7 hits, struck out 1, walked 3 to win over the Nationals his last start on Saturday. A lot of lefties in the lineup as left-handers have given him fits this year. They're hitting .370 against him, and many of these Cardinals pretty good numbers against the former Cub and Ranger Matt Garza.
Saw only the 4th start for Garza this year. His last start in spring training, he injured himself, called it a lat injury. He pitched pretty well. He's had his problems in this ballpark historically.
It's always interesting. You look at the numbers, and the numbers do tell a story. Made his season debut back on June 14th. He's allowed a lot of base runners, but then you break down his season as you see the shift. Only 5 runs have scored in the 16 innings that he's thrown for Milwaukee. It's a 2.81 ERA. 4 of those runs on Saturday, but he got 10 groundouts for the 2nd straight outing. So he gets a lot of ground balls when he's right, like there. Tough play. Carpenter is safe at first. Beat it out in a leadoff hit for Matt Carpenter.
Got jammed, and turns it almost into a little bit of a bunt, but just a kind of a check swing, base hit. Got by the pitcher, and the way they had defensively with the shift on, see him get jammed there, but once it got by the pitcher, it's going to be a real tough play. It's Villar trying to come in here, close play, but clearly safe.
I like what Craig Counsell did. For those that didn't see it last night, Ned Yost waited until both teams were off the field, then decided to challenge. Craig Counsell at least went to the top step, motioned to the umpire, and the home plate umpire is the crew chief, to say, we're going to take a look at it.
You know why that happened too? Because they got beat or burned by it, like the Cardinals did. It happened, I think, in the LA series that they just completed, but I was talking to the broadcaster of Milwaukee, and they were asking about the play last night, and I was explaining it, and they said the same thing happened to them. There you see Rock, Brian Anderson. Good guys, good friends, haven't they?
Absolutely. 1 strike on Aledmys Diaz. And Diaz hits it down the 3rd baseline. That's into the corner. Carpenter digging for 3rd. Chris Maloney waving him in. Relay to the plate. There's no throw. A run does score. Diaz is in a rundown between 2nd and 3rd. And still in that rundown. And finally he's tagged out as he picks up the RBI, his 41st, and a 1-0 first inning lead for the Cardinals.
But Dan, another base running mistake. You should be leading 1-0 with a runner in scoring position at 2nd base. But Diaz tried to go he went too far, trying to think they'd throw home and he'd end up at 3rd. You've got to play under control. Nice piece of hitting right there, getting the base hit and into left field corner. Ron, who plays pretty good out there, remember he started his career at 3rd base. He got the relay to the cutoff man, but they did not throw home, and then they got Diaz trying to go too far, trying to go to 3rd, and he's got to run a little under control. That's twice he's had a situation like that in the last week.
1-0 Cardinals. Here is Holliday. Holliday, 367, his average against Garza. Moss, who's on deck, 7 for 13 with a home run. After that, you have Peralta, 459 against this right-hander, and Adams, 8 for 15 with a home run. So the middle of the lineup, at least in recent history, has hit this right-hander very well.
There's a couple lefties that hit the ball hard and a couple righties.
Matt on the season batting .250. Look at the Hyundai pitch arsenal here for Matt Garza. So last year went 6-14.
He's always had that pretty good fastball, and they like his curveball. They said that one has been very helpful to him this year.
And a fastball and a strike to Holiday. We saw Mike Matheny ejected, arguing the time that it took to get that review for Ned Yost and the Kansas City Royals. Well, it seems like when the Cardinals see their manager ejected, they go on a run. At least that's been the history. Same pitch and a strike.
Well, the first one was below the strike zone that he called. Questionable whether that one was a strike. Jerry Meals, crew chief, is our home plate umpire tonight.
Three-two pitch. Holiday hits it sharply to second. Scooter Gennett up with it. 2 down. A look at the Brewers defensively. Braun no errors in left. Broxton with 3 in center. Perez 4 in right. Hill, VR, Gennett, Carter along the infield. Jonathan Lucroy is behind the plate. And that's presented by Dobbs.
Now we should have 1 out and a runner at third base. Perfect time for Moss at either jack one or at least get a fly ball for a sac fly.
And a strike to Moss. If you project the numbers out, let's just say he would get 600 plate appearances. That means he's going to hit in the mid-40s in terms of home runs, potentially. Last Cardinal that hit over 30 home runs was Carlos Beltran back in 2012.
Cardinals were hopeful that he would be further recovered from hip surgery that he had before last season, and we'd see the more power, and we've definitely seen it.
Longest home run hit at the ballpark, Busch Stadium 3 last night. 477 feet off the bat of Moss. The 1-2 pitch. Chris Young on the mound, and this said hit me, and he did.
Watch the back of the stands to the left of that Mercy sign. Might have been all the way to the back row.
Moss with 17 home runs. Last 4 Cardinals with 8 or more home runs in a single month. Moss coming off of 8 this past June. Carpenter had 8 in September of 2015. Adams went on a tear in September of 2013. Beltran had 10 in May of 2012.
And in case you were wondering, I think this was the rundown play. 7-6-4-5-6-4.
I was wondering. I really was. I didn't know how it went. Too many guys were flying around. He stayed in it for a long time.
It should be 1 throw if you do it the correct way.
Inside, and it's a walk.
He cut down his walks in his first couple starts, but the last start he walked 3. We'll see what he does tonight.
Brewers feel he is the right man for the job. He worked for the Players Association, then in the front office for the Milwaukee Brewers. Longtime player, won a couple of world titles. One was with the then Florida Marlins. Did it again with Arizona. 2 World Series that went to Game 7s and dramatic finishes. He was a very, very good player.
And from Milwaukee, didn't his dad work for the organization too?
He did.
So he's got the Milwaukee blood through his veins, and they made a lot of changes, rebuild the ball club, trying to find the right combination.
Short lead at first by Moss. This is Johnny Peralta. .459 average against Garza with a couple of home runs. And he hits it high in the air. Out to right, Hernan Perez under it and makes the catch. Cardinals strand a runner. They pick up a run, and it's 1-0 after 1. @bat app. Stay up to the moment at any moment. Game day live. All the video highlights, StatCast, news, and more. It's for your phone or tablet. That's MLB at bat. Chris Carter. 19 home runs, third most in the National League, and he smokes one out to center field. Tommy Pham looks up. Goodbye. There it is, number 20. He's one back of Nolan Arenado, and he is now two back of Chris Bryant and Adam Duvall. It's all or nothing. He's got 20 home runs, 100 strikeouts.
I was going to make that point. Strikeouts, but you can live with it when you got the production. So that's his 20th home run.
49th RBI.
49 RBIs. Big, powerfully strong kid.
Had some big production seasons with the Houston Astros in terms of power. And he showed us why there. Hernan Perez, the right fielder of Milwaukee. Just saw a shot inside that Milwaukee dugout of Darnell Coles, who played in 1995 with the St. Louis Cardinals. Briefly, there's Darnell. Actually did a little TV work for us.
Yeah, he's the hitting coach.
Good guy.
Milwaukee.
Little chopper to third. Tough play here. Peralta, long throw, no chance. Diving in head first, Perez. Anytime I see a player diving in headfirst to the first base bag, it makes me think of Skip Schumacher, who just took a job with the San Diego Padres in their front office.
Well, good for him. You knew Skip, the type of person he is, and you know he was going to have a job in baseball and probably had many offers to consider. But there with Padres, you know, close to home.
So 2 hits in the inning. Brings in Scooter Gennett, who's batting .265. 7 home runs. He's driven in 21, coming off a team high .322 average in the month of June.
And he had 3 of his 7 home runs, 14 of his 21 RBIs in June.
keep an eye on Perez. That's bunted foul. He has 9 stolen bases this year. As we take a look at Al Rabaski's Toyota keys to the game.
Well, we just got to start playing Cardinal baseball. You know, get back to the winning ways. Go out there and get good pitching, good relief work, good defense, smart base running, score a bunch of runs, but just go out and play Cardinal baseball the winning way.
0-1 pitch. And it's 0-2.
Lost a lot of base runners on the base paths. Starting pitching has had a bad start. They've kind of ironed things out. Relief work has been very good, and then a little bit in chaos right now. So everyone's to blame in some way. The Cardinal offense has scored a ton of runs, but then they've had a lot of games where they don't show up.
Hit the other way, and what a catch by Johnny Peralta, robbing Scooter Gennett.
Well off the line, and he makes a nice play. Third base, but he was playing well into the hole and speared that hard hit ball. Dan, if you look at all the problems the Cardinals have, or breakdowns they've had during the first 3 months, there is not one thing that can't be fixed. Everything can be fixed, and if they're the team they think they are, they're going to have to do it right away.
Last night, 6th time already this season with 3 errors in a game.
2 games back to back.
Broxton flies to right, and Perez back to first, and just in time. He did not realize there were only 1 out.
Yeah, that's the thing. He took off there, and then they got his attention. Watch him take off here, thinking it's 2 outs, and then somebody yells at him, "Uh-oh, only 1. Now it's 2. Get it back."
Garza so far this year is 1 for 4, 1 sacrifice. No home runs, no RBI. And we're tied up at 1-1 here in the top of the 2nd. It's disturbing is what the Cardinals have done here at home. They lost their 23rd game at Busch Stadium last night. They're 15-23. To put it in perspective, the Cardinals did not lose game number 23 at home last year until September 7th. Chopped to short. Diaz across the way, and the tag applied by Adams. Home run by Chris Carter, his 20th. We're tied. It's 1-1. There is a sign right by Jim Hayes. Jim, the Cat Hayes, can I have an interview? We're going to work on that in just a moment. But Jimmy, what do you have for us tonight?
A little bit on Kevin Segrist, who knew something wasn't quite right, Dan. He had been pitching, but said he felt weak. He tried to pitch, then he said he felt weak. He told me he thought he was suffering from allergies. Well, the Cardinals training staff was trying to figure it out as well. They thought it might be too much exposure to the sun. It wasn't until a blood test identified the cause as mononucleosis. Mike Matheny told me the main thing was to get Segrist off his feet and to get him some rest. He said credit the training staff for continuing to check things off the list until they found the cause. And Sam Tuivalala called up from Memphis while Segrist is on the DL. And Dan, if those kids can handle terribly constructed questions, I will interview them.
Fire away. Matt Garza is still getting loose. Go right ahead, Jimmy. Walk right up there right now. And, hey, if they want to be interviewed, they can bring something to the telecast. Why not?
All right, it's time for your interview. Say a sign, a little cardboard will get it done, Dad. Good job. All right, what is your name?
Jacob.
And what is your name?
Lexi.
And what is your favorite player? Who is your favorite player on the card?
Diaz.
You like Diaz, okay? And who is your favorite player?
Matt Carpenter.
And Dad, do you take them to a lot of Cardinals games?
Yeah, we try to go as much as we can.
All right, kids, we're going to get a win tonight?
Yeah.
Yeah.
See what a little cardboard can do, Dan?
Man, nice work, Jim. Digging as always.
Surprised we got it back.
Yeah, if they can do the inning, I don't care. Jim wants to do the inning, I know that.
Oh, does he?
Here's Matt Adams. No balls and 2 strikes. 8 for 15 with a home run, couple of doubles against Matt Garza.
He's hit well here at home this year, over 300. 8 of his 9 home runs have come at home.
Yet the Cardinals offensively at home, when you look at the struggles as to why they have not performed well here at Busch Stadium, and Adams strikes out. Look at the offense. Cardinals are 20th in home runs, 20th in runs at Busch Stadium. Now on the road, they lead the major leagues in runs, OPS, tied for 4th in home runs. So they have not hit nearly as well here at home as opposed to the road.
Yeah, I mean it's almost 2 runs a game difference. 2 more runs on the road than they score at home. Recently we've spoiled a lot of good pitching during this 7-game home losing streak covering 3 series. You know, every start has been a quality start.
Here's Yadier Molina, strokes it into right, coming on Perez to make the catch. And Molina lines out for out number 2, and it brings in Tommy Pham. This ballpark has proven to be a pitcher's park, generally speaking, in the 10 years of Busch Stadium 3, but certainly that's the case this year when you look at the numbers. This is a pitcher's park.
It really is, and of course the Cardinal ownership, they were hopeful that it would just be a neutral park. I think if you hit the ball down the lines, you've seen, you know, just hit the ball, square it up.
Ground ball that's hit to third. Aaron Hill was playing in, and a quick inning for Matt Garza. 5 pitches. We head to the 3rd. 1-1. biggest stars, the 87th All-Star Game presented by MasterCard, July 12th on Fox. Coverage begins 6:30 Central. That game will be in San Diego, and I was looking at famous plays and moments in baseball history. This date, 1990, and it does tie into the Padres. Yankees Andy Hawkins pitched a no-hitter. He lost. Yankees made 3 errors. It was back in 1990. Second time in baseball history that a pitcher's thrown a complete game no-hitter and lost. Houston's Ken Johnson did that 1-0 to the Reds in 1964. Baseball changed the rules. Must go 9 innings to be credited with a no-hitter. But the unique thing about Andy Hawkins, he's the only pitcher in Padres history to have ever recorded a win in a World Series game.
And the Padres, the only team in baseball without a no-hitter.
Tough play for Diaz, but he makes it look easy.
He's already made 3 nice plays in this ball game. Time going up the middle, going on the run. Got off to a slow start with those errors, but he's really cut them down, and he has more defensive gems than any other player on the Cardinals this year. 13.
Brings in Aaron Hill. Grounded out to short. And he's 0 for 1. Yadier Molina just continues to grind behind the plate. Leads all of baseball in innings caught, and it's not even close. Over 50 innings more than the next catcher on that list, Salvador Perez. Well, this is good to see, all these ground ball outs for Jaime Garcia.
Well, when you see that, you're usually going to see him have a very, very good game. And he's made one mistake, the home run to Carter. He's in a 1-1 game, but like you said, ground ball after ground ball.
He is Milwaukee's all-time leader in home runs with 268. And yesterday he played in game number 1,284 in Brewers history. Sole possession, 5th most games played in franchise history. You're wondering who has the most? Robin Yount, the Hall of Famer, over 2,800. And it's number 1 by a wide margin. Up next, another Hall of Famer, Paul Molitor, with just over 1,800.
Yeah.
So 2 outs, nobody on, and here's the 0-1 pitch. 0-2. Brian Braun does have no trade clause in his contract, and it's basically 3/4 of the league that he cannot be traded to. But there are some teams, most of them primarily on the West Coast. One on the East is Miami.
That's where he went to college.
And he's a California native. Aledmys Diaz sets a record. All 3 ground ball outs hit to him. Stream games live on your mobile device. Just go to your app store, download the free Fox Sports Go app, log in, and stream the Cardinals wherever you go. Jaime Garcia will lead it off, followed by Matt Carpenter and Aledmys Diaz. Garcia 4 for 20 this year. No home runs, 1 RBI. Leads the club in sacrifices with 6. First pitch taken for a ball. We're underway in the bottom of the 3rd.
Cardinals allocate a lot of time batting practice for their starting staff.
Get well wishes to John Sheehan. Heads up KMOX radio and had a little surgery. I know he's watching tonight. And get well, and we'll see you at the ballpark very soon. Not serious, but enough to catch your attention.
Yeah. John and Rebecca's wedding.
One-two pitch and a strikeout of Garcia. It's back, Cardinals fans. The refreshing taste of the frozen strawberry lemonade. It's available all summer long, and it's only at McDonald's.
Carpenter opened up with a check swing base hit. Jammed him up and in, and the ball just went out there to left side of the infield.
Fastball, then a strike.
And Diaz had a base hit to left field. A screamer down in the corner. Scored Matt. And then pretty much Garza settled in this game.
Here's the 0-1. All kinds of ways to break down this season for Matt Carpenter. Told you earlier about the categories that he leads for the Cardinals, most offensive categories. There are 16 players right now who see an average of just over 4 pitches per plate appearance, which is a lot. 11 players right now who have 40+ extra base hits. Only 1 player who's on both those lists, and he's at the plate right now. So he's seeing pitches. He works counts. He hits for average with 2 strikes. He's driving the ball with power and authority from the leadoff spot. I mean, he's had a terrific season.
How disappointed are you that he didn't get player of the month?
One-two pitch. So you have Carpenter at the top spot, and it's anybody's guess who will hit number 2 in this lineup from day to day. Really no set lineups for Mike Matheny, with the exception of Carpenter at the top spot, Matt Holliday batting 3rd. The 2-2. Spoiled. Kia in the driver's seat concerning Carpenter, and also whomever the Cardinals go with that number 2 spot in the lineup. Combined 291. That number 2 spot in the lineup, usually it seems like a guy that you're trying to get going, but Diaz has been there primarily after the first month of the season.
Diaz was hitting 8th and just owning the world. Not great numbers, and in a long time since a Cardinal rookie or any rookie put up the numbers that he was doing. And later they moved him to the 2nd spot, and he's been there quite a bit now.
3-2 pitch. Carpenter drives it into center field. Broxton back on the track and makes the catch. Aledmys Diaz has been busy at the plate and defensively. As we take a look at the night for the Cardinals shortstop.
He's been busy, as you said, at shortstop. He's been involved in 6 different assists here, playing all over the field. Here up the middle. It's a nice play. So he's already had 6 ground balls, and then offensively he drives in Carpenter for the first run of the game, and we're tied 1-1 now.
Jammed him. Hit slowly to short. VR up with it, and Diaz beats it out. Even if that throw is on line, I think he beats it out.
I think so. You know, before this at bat, he was leading the National League in infield hits. But here's a kid that can hit it out of the ballpark if they gets a hold of one on the inner part of the plate, and yet they pitch him away. A lot of times he doesn't hit the ball real hard before the shortstop playing in the hole, so he has to come in a couple steps. Not that he wasted a lot of time, but that just, you know, the offline, and that just shows you how quick Diaz is. It's an error.
Be the 10th on VR. Extends the inning to Holiday. Grounded out sharply to second base, first time up. Fastball misses in. First at bat, a couple of strikes went against Holiday on the outside portion of the plate. At first pitch here, second at bat, they set up in. Cat and mouse game.
You know, Jerry Meals called a couple low pitches on him down and away, which really seems like it's pitching right to his strength. He's a low ball hitter, so you could see why he's had success against Garza. 11 for 31. Claimed to pull in the infield. You know, he hits so many balls up the middle. The shortstop wouldn't have any chance going to his left on most of the ground balls that he hits right up the middle.
Big gap in left center and a 1-1 pitch. Popped up and out of play. Be interesting to see where it all shakes out for the Cardinals and the potential of their all-stars. Aledmys Diaz could be one. Certainly Matt Carpenter. Talked about the impact of Seung-Hwan Oh. I was talking with Diaz before the game, and he said, I realize for some guys it may not be that big a deal. They've been there before. For me, it would mean everything. And Yadier Molina, Cardinal fans made that final push for Molina last night. Voting is ended. 1-2. Hit out of play.
And we don't know the final results, do we? We'll find that out until the weekend. They announce the squads.
Look at the Cardinals this ball game from section 454 here at the ballpark. Beautiful night. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Holiday. Runner goes. Throw down to second, and he got him. Regardless, strikeout of Holiday. Busch Stadium in St. Louis. We know it was a great run this year by the St. Louis Blues, led by their former captain. That's right, former captain David Backus. And he's here at the ballpark. Jim Hayes.
Yeah, 10 years with the Blues, had the C on the sweater, did so much in the community with the animal rescue, and today signing with the Boston Bruins. David, I'd imagine a very, very difficult decision for you.
Extremely difficult, and a whirlwind of emotions, and finally things a little bit settling down here, and we're in the midst of trying to support Alex and his wedding that he's got going on this weekend. So trying not to be too big of a distraction, but with some life-changing, career-changing news. Unfortunately, I think I've taken a little bit away from the wedding, and hopefully he can enjoy the rest of it without me being a distraction.
For those not familiar, Alex Pietrangelo having his wedding party, you're part of that tonight. Kind of underscores the friends you've made along the way, huh?
Yeah, and he's one of the good ones, the guy that's loyal and does all the right things. And I was asking Army if I could give the C to him at his wedding for a present, but they'll make that decision internally, and whoever's next up for that honor will do a heck of a job. Him, Steiner, whoever else they may tab for that job, but whoever it is, I hope if it's not the Bruins lifting the cup, that it's one of those guys, and they get to have a parade down Market Street and really enjoy it, because it is a great town, a great team, and 50 years waiting, it's time for a cup to come here, as long as it's not in Boston.
When you think about your time with the Blues in St. Louis, any moments stand out to you?
I think the most recent one, in getting to the Western Conference Final, you saw how the city went absolutely nuts in supporting us, and the momentum that drove to, supporting the Blues, and the town was painted blue. The way that happened really was special, and it's recent, and you just think if we'd have made it to the finals, the whole city would have shut down, and we would have, you win the cup, and who knows what the heck happens here. Hopefully it's peaceful, and there would have been parties for days, but that's my one regret, that I wasn't able to bring a cup to this town. Hopefully I've done some good and set the next guy up for a lot of success, and he's able to do that.
That playoff run that you guys went on, every game intense, the next one more intense than that, physically, mentally, how draining was that for you and your teammate?
Well, it was a challenge, no question, but when you get the reward finally for putting your effort in and really investing in it, you beat the Blackhawks, and the vindication of all our hard work that brought. Then you get the Dallas Stars, and you beat them in 7 games, and you go, hey, we're finally getting paid off for all the investment and time and energy we've put into this thing, to the rebuild. Those feelings are something that you just don't forget, and wish it would have been 6 more wins and we could have brought that cup here.
You'll be playing for a new fan base. Last thing before we let you go, but it seemed like you had a special relationship with Blues fans.
No question, and the town is blue collar, Midwest. That's right up my alley. Unfortunately, the business side rears its ugly head, and we're not able to get a deal done to keep me here for the rest of my career. That being said, like I tweeted out today, it's goodbye for now, but not goodbye forever, because this is a special place to my wife and I.
No question about it. You will be missed. Thanks for the time.
Thanks a lot, Jimmy.
All right, Danny. David Backus.
Jim, great interview. Nice job. That is a class individual right there. David Backus, who just returned, by the way, from Haiti with his father, as they made a trip with Cal McClellan, the former Cardinal pitcher, and his Brace for Impact group, as they raise funds to build homes and help those less fortunate in Haiti that literally have nothing. And that's what they did on Father's Day. Very, very much a class individual. Here's Hernan Perez, and he chops it on front of the plate, and Garcia can't get it out of the glove. Carter advancing to second base. Runners at first and second with only 1 out.
Little swinging bunt, and Garcia pounced on it, but then couldn't get the handle on it, and doesn't record an out. Reaches in. See his finger. One finger was on the ball, one finger was on the outside of the glove.
So Perez is 2 for 2. And an air charge to Jaime Garcia. Brings in Scooter Gennett. We're tied up at 1-1. Runners at first and second, one out. Garcia getting those ground balls. Let's see if he can't get a double play. And a strike. Missouri Lottery Fox Tracks and that high strike. Blues also lost to free agency today. For our fans here in the Midwest that maybe don't pay attention to the offseason news, Troy Brouwer, who was big down the stretch for St. Louis, he's now in Calgary. There's your ground ball hit to the right side. Carpenter to second. Nice play.
Really was a nice play. You know, one of the ways you measure a defensive second baseman is on double play balls like this. Do you have a tough chance, and will you take the risk of getting the lead man? So you see how far he goes. And the one reason it's key is that, you know, he does get the force out at second base here, but, you know, you'd be keeping first the double play in order. But very nice. You see Diaz stretching like a first baseman there, as he knew he wouldn't have any time to get the Scooter Gennett, who hit the ball.
Runners at first and third. Here's Keon Broxton. Broxton on the year. His average at 129. Mentioned it earlier, just 3 hits away from Miller Park. That's it, the entire season.
And he's 0 for 11 against St. Louis Cardinal pitching this year.
That pitch taken low and inside. Blues also made a signing today, bringing back David Perron. Perron played in St. Louis a handful of years, and now he's back in.
2-0. The one thing you got to watch with Broxton is he went 0 for 24 in his career before he dropped down and bunt single. You know, he runs extremely well, so he's always thinking about the potential of bunting, and the left side is way back.
2 outs, 2 on. Changeup had him way out in front. 2-1. What's been tough for the Cardinals to deal with in the 7-game losing skid? There's that circle change, and it's the 7 games at home in a row. The starters collectively in those 7 losses, ERA of 1.53. They have really pitched well, but nothing to show for it.
Remember, the Cardinals had their starting pitching had 13 consecutive quality starts, and then Jaime broke that string on Sunday when he allowed 5 runs in 5 innings, but the Cardinals hit 6 home runs in that game and came back to win that ball game. You got Wainwright tomorrow. He's got great numbers against Milwaukee.
Fastball, then a strike. Runner from first is off with this pitch. 2 outs, first and third. 3-2 the count on Keon Broxton, the 8th place hitter.
Fastball in.
And he walked him. Two walks in the inning. Lowe's home field advantage. You'll look at the splits for Jaime Garcia. Always has been good here at home, and it's an even 66 at home, 66 on the road. ERA so much better here at Busch Stadium, and the record 10 games above 500 here at home.
To me, that was a bad walk.
8th place hitter with a guy hitting under $130.
I mean, you know that you have to get him out, and then you've got Garza, who was the first out of the next inning, but now you got the bases loaded. And Broxton, you're right, under 30, 0 for 11 against the Cardinals.
And the 0-1 pitch. Now 0-2. Well, the Brewers on the road have dropped 8 of their last 10. They've been outscored in those 10 games 60-33. So they've had their own issues away from home.
But they also say that, you know, a good young club with a good bullpen, that if they play you, they got a lead late in the game, they can close it out.
The 0-2. And he struck him out. Molina steps on the plate. And we head to the bottom of the 4th. We're tied up. It's 1-1. Major League Baseball is brought to you by T-Mobile. Talk about the Red Sox in just a moment, and that's big news with them. The Orioles, there's a team that hit 56 home runs last month, and the O's won 19 of 28. And Cleveland wins again today. 19 innings. They've won 14 straight. First time in franchise history. 116 years of baseball as they beat the Blue Jays on Canada Day, north of the border.
I said it on the road trip, but with the starting pitching and the pitching we saw from Cleveland last year, you can understand how they could go on a long, long winning streak.
This is how it works. The Red Sox exceeded their bonus pools in 2014 and 15 in the international signing period, and they overspent by a huge margin. So they're banned from signing any international players starting tomorrow. And they had 5 international prospects from Venezuela declared as free agents.
Really?
So players 16 and older eligible to sign. There's a $2 million signing bonus cap, and the Cardinals, by all accounts, and talking with John Mozeliak and some of the others in the front office, they are expected this year, this weekend, and tomorrow to be one of the biggest days they've had in recent history. We're in the bottom of the 4th, and it's 1-1. Here's Brandon Moss. Breaking ball and a strike.
First 2 Cardinal hitters, Carpenter and Diaz, got hits in this ball game, and then there's only been 1 since then.
And a ground ball that's hit to first. Chris Carter is there. Cardinals, Fox Sports, and the state of Missouri teaming up to help you stop smoking. For more information, call the Quit line at 1-800-QUIT-NOW. Right around 80 degrees this 4th of July weekend. Make it a safe one. Enjoy it. Take in some Cardinals baseball.
And I said there was 1 hit since then because I didn't turn my page over.
Well,
so now it's
flip it over.
Eliminate 1 hit from the Cardinals. They only have 2 on the night.
Here's Johnny Peralta. And a strike. Peralta flied out to right first time up.
Cardinals have won both series played, one here and one in Milwaukee this year. So they're 4-2 on the year, but the Cardinals have outscored Milwaukee by 25 runs, 38-13.
Oh, 2. Big gap in left center for Peralta. Homer to right center last night off the top of the wall. And he's hit 3 since he's come back. Last year, just a nightmare of a season for Matt Garza. Mentioned it earlier, 6-14 in 25 starts. Made one appearance out of the bullpen, then was shut down. Actually went to a different offseason trainer, wanted to get in the best shape of his life. They feel that he's done that. We'll see if it translates into having success between the white lines. 0-2.
If you remember late in the season, he was struggling so much they tried to move him to the bullpen, and his wife corresponding at the same time. His wife was having troubles with a pregnancy, and he left the ball club. Now some people said it was because he didn't want to go to the bullpen, and he said he felt that his family needed him during that time. And
that's a fair ball, backhanded by Hill, and safe at first.
See, they may challenge this one. Very close play there.
What a great effort there by Aaron Hill just to make that close.
And they're not going to. Johnny Peralta's always hit Milwaukee very well, particularly at home. But you're right. Aaron Hill makes a very nice play. Gets this one. And clearly he's safe at first.
One out base hit.
Now we have our third hit.
Matt Adams struck out on a check swing back in inning number 2. Adams hits it to Garza off his glove, slips off the mound, underhands wide. He had plenty of time, and Adams is safe at first base.
Dan, that is Matt Garza. He cannot throw to any base. A simple little underhand, and it was not close enough to where Carter had to come off the base. But that is something that if you know Garza, he can't field his position. He can't throw is what the real problem is. And look at how far off line he underhand tosses that one. Cardinals need to take advantage of it.
Brings in Yadier Molina.
Scored an error on that.
That'll be the second error for Milwaukee tonight. The Cardinals have committed an error. That was by Garcia. So both pitchers have committed an error tonight. The error total now for St. Louis is at 63. Crowd trying to come alive as Molina lined out to right his first time up. Well, knowing that about Matt Garza, when you think about sacrifice situations, you would think it would make the decision pretty easy to put the ball in play to him.
Yeah, or put down another bunt here, you know, and trying to advance both runners into scoring position. But you know, most of the time you want to bunt it past the pitcher, but in this case you may want to bunt it to Garza.
I would say you wouldn't bunt here just because 8th place hitter, then first base open, deal with the pitcher after that. Lined into center field. Here comes Peralta. And the Cardinals go back on top. It's 2-1. Line drive single for Molina as he drives in number 27.
That was a lot prettier than dropping down a bunt. But just think about that. It's the rest of this game that, you know, you may be able to get Garza to throw another ball away. But nice going, Yachty. His 27th RBI. Right back the middle. Yachty hit the ball hard the first time up to right. This time he hit one where they aren't.
So runners at first and second. 1 out. And a 2-1 St. Louis lead. Now Tommy Pham, who grounded out to third as Hill was playing in his first time up back in the second inning.
Tommy Pham 0 for 1, but still this season he's 8 for 18 against Milwaukee's pitching staff.
Two balls, no strikes. Pham is 2 home runs hit last Sunday in Seattle. One to right, the other a line drive down the left field line. And he went. Garza in his career, by the way, with 24 errors. It's tied for the 6th most among active pitchers. Colon with 40. Bartolo Colon with 40 of the Mets, and that's because he's been around for 87.5 years.
I know about Lester's throwing problems.
I still don't understand why more teams don't run against him.
You know, even a situation like this, you know, if Garza got the ball, you take off, maybe trying to throw it to a base. They say can't do it any place.
3-1.
Tommy Pham, mentioned he's 8 for 18 now against Milwaukee with a double, 2 triples, and 2 home runs.
The 3-1 pitch. Line foul. Comes a pretty big at bat here midway through this game. 8th place hitter, 2 runners on. Garza's thinking I can get Pham. Well, certainly I should be able to get Jaime Garcia out, come away with just 1 run allowed. 3-2 pitch to Pham. Instead, he calls time.
Most of the time you get a breaking ball in this situation. 3-2 pitcher on deck. Gonna be a fastball in.
And he walked him. 2006 World Championship team will be here, presented by Budweiser, July 15th, 16th, 17th here at Busch Stadium. Celebration of that team and exciting promotional items commemorating the Cardinals' win over the Tigers in the Fall Classic. Special pregame reunion ceremony Saturday, July 16th. For more information, visit cardinals.com/promotions. So the base is loaded here for Jaime Garcia, who was called out on strikes, back in the third. There's Matt Adams, who reached on an air. Molina, RBI single to center, walk to Pham. They're loaded up for Garcia. The pitch in the dirt, as he went with a breaking ball to Jaime Garcia.
I mean, can swing the bat a little bit.
Big gap in right center. The 1-0. Hits it the other way. Base hit. A run will score. That's Adams, as Molina is held up at third, and Garcia helping his own cause. It's 3-1 St. Louis.
I always said Jaime had a pretty good stroke. They give these starting pitchers a lot of time to pinch hit, or excuse me, not pinch hit, but during batting practice they get their allotment on the road and home, and there it pays off for Jaime. It's his second RBI of the night, 14th of his career. Hit that ball hard.
Garcia is now 3 for 5 in his career with the bases loaded. So on the flip side, when you said, well, you had the 8th place hitter with 2 strikes, you let him off the hook, you had the pitcher coming up to get out of the inning, and now still nobody out from that time, and you're dealing with Matt Carpenter, who's one of the best in all of baseball.
Yeah. It's one of those things, you know, like you say, you know, if you walk the 8th place hitter, you go, okay, I got the pitcher up, but you better get him out.
Carpenter 1 for 2 tonight with an infield hit. Cardinals with 5 hits against Matt Garza. And what an opportunity here. Bases loaded, still only 1 out. First pitch to Carpenter is taken for a strike. You know, you always think about when, if you're the Cardinals, let's say, you look at the opposing lineup and you say, that guy can't beat me. You know, we're going to pitch around him, or whatever the case may be extra careful. Right now, that guy for the opposition is Matt Carpenter.
I agree.
0-1. And Carpenter breaks his bat. That ball will drop. 1 run is in. Here comes Pham. He'll be held up as Molina scores. Carpenter, his second hit tonight to make it 4-1 St. Louis.
Matt's 50th RBI. Last year he led the ball club in home runs and RBIs. He's leading in RBIs now. Perez, watch him. He'll come in aggressively and he'll try and deke the runners by raising his hands like he's trying to catch it. Got a strong throw. Good thing Pham didn't come home.
Diaz got it all started back in the first with an RBI double to plate Carpenter. Bases loaded, 1 out. Pitch taken for a ball. You can understand with the throw and the fact the heart of the lineup is coming up why Chris Maloney would hold the runner at third.
Absolutely.
The 1-0. 2 balls and no strikes.
Third time through the order. Cardinal hitters are getting up there, and ideally you would like to be 6th or 7th inning facing the guys for your 3rd time.
Tyler Thornburg is up and throwing, the right-hander for Milwaukee in their pen. Pitch number 64 from Garza upcoming. The 2-0 to Aledmys Diaz. Inside, 3-0.
How about Carpenter? Another multi-hit game for Carpenter versus the Brewers.
And a 5-pitch second inning, and 22 and counting here in the 4th. swinging on 3-0, and there's strike one. Sometimes you like to see it. Sometimes you say, I don't know if it's the right situation. It's baseball. It's debatable. As Thornburg has a seat now, Marinez is throwing in the pen.
That was the 30th multi-hit game for Carpenter against Milwaukee.
So you're telling me the Brewers are sick of seeing Matt Carpenter? He came in the 6 games against them. He had hit .480. 3-1 pitch now to Aledmys Diaz with the bases loaded. 3-2.
Let's see where it is. Cardinal fans don't like it. It looks like it's below the strike zone, but in the middle of the plate. We'll say Jerry Meals has called that ball quite a few times tonight. So if a pitcher, you take advantage of it.
3-2. Strikeout of Diaz. So Garza comes back to get the Cardinals shortstop.
Almost the exact same spot as the second strike, but both of them look like they're clearly below the strike zone or below what it'll be next year. Jerry Meals isn't that tall, so he's got a low strike zone.
9th man to hit for the Cardinals here in the bottom of the 4th is Holiday with the bases loaded and 2 outs. He is struck out and grounded out. So now you think about it, if you're Chris Maloney, the situation has changed with 2 outs. You might be more aggressive in sending a runner. The only problem is your runner at second is your starting pitcher, Jaime Garcia.
Remember last year running the bases, pulled the groin and was out for a month.
The 0-1. Holiday chops it up the middle. That is through. Garcia will score along with Bam. Matt Holiday drives in 2. A seeing eye base hit into center field. And the Cardinals tack on 2 more in a huge bottom of the 4th here in St. Louis.
48 and 49 RBIs there. Matt, who normally hits the ball so hard and just powers it through the infield, that ball wasn't hard enough to get to the center fielder before 2 runs are going to score. Just dribbler going in. Broxton come there, but the windmill. Chris Maloney try and get a sore arm tonight, as the Cardinals have scored 6 runs this early.
The other aspect of that play, VR was playing deep in the hole.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't like the way they were playing deep in the hole the first time, because I thought so many of Matt's balls are hit just where that one is, but much harder usually.
Runners at first and third. Here's Brandon Moss. Began the inning by grounding out. The Cardinals have picked up 5 runs here in the bottom of the 4th. And the 1-0. You know, we see Moss every day, and he'll absolutely destroy a fastball. If you hang a breaking ball like most major leaguers, he'll hit that, but surprised more teams don't do what Garza just did there and pull the string.
You know, Dan, very few pitchers are going to be able to throw 3 changeups in the strike zone. So normally you're always going to get at least 1 fastball.
So pitch number 31 of the inning, number 73 of the night. The 2-1 to Moss. Breaks his bat, and it's hit out of play. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 on and 2 outs in a 6-1 St. Louis lead. Moss has walked and grounded out.
For with all the playing time, his average actually is probably a little higher than what you normally would expect. But you're going to know you're going to get a lot of strikeouts, and you're getting the home run production. But he's hitting over 250.
Came in at 256. The 2-2 pitch. One of the other aspects too of pitching to Moss, if you're going to pitch him in, which they just set up to do so, you better get in all the way in. If not, you leave it over the plate, he'll crush it.
So he hit was that open stance, so try and keep it. They're going to try and work him up and in.
And they got him with an off-speed pitch. A strikeout for Garza. Big inning for the Cardinals. St. Louis picks up 5, and Chris Maloney, the third base coach, busy this inning. And some happy Cardinals. St. Louis on top, 6-1. Here in the top of the 5th, Cardinals send 10 to the plate in the bottom of the 4th. Jonathan VR leads it off, and the pitch is taken low. And a strike at the knees. 1 ball, 1 strike. Kevin Manning, a longtime Cardinal fan, has recently passed away. Raised his daughter Kathleen, sons Danny and Ryan to be Cardinal fans, and they are. Thoughts are with his wife Teresa and the family on the passing of lifelong Cardinal fan, great friend to all of us, Kevin Manning. 1 ball, 2 strikes on VR.
Came from Houston. Exchange for right-handed pitcher Cy Snead.
High chopper to third. Peralta has to be quick, and he makes the play. David Ortiz, Bryce Harper, Mike Trout, and all the baseball superstars come together for the primetime event that will light up the summer. Major League Baseball's All-Star Game from San Diego, July 12th And that's only on Fox.
Toy Palala was named to the AAA All-Star team, but I think he'll miss that and be happy for it. He's up in the big leagues now, as Kevin Segrist was put on the disabled list with mononucleosis, the kissing disease. Did you know that?
I did. I had mono.
I did too. We're just a bunch of lovers, aren't we?
Lover, not a fighter, Al. Not sure I could say the same about you.
Yeah, I'm not sure I could say the same about me either.
David Ortiz, 2,000th hit for the Red Sox. Also a milestone home run tonight, number 522. Passed Ted Williams, Willie McCovey, Frank Thomas for 19th on the all-time list. So he gets hit number 2,000, and he does it in style. It's kind of been his MO, though, in Boston.
Yeah, he's talking about come behind wins or big wins. You step up.
Aaron Hill draws a walk number 3 by Garcia. Take a look at the schedule through the All-Star game. Our Budweiser What's on Tap as Braun digs in. All-Star game is the 12th of this month, and the remaining games against teams that are under 500. First of 3 this weekend in St. Louis against Milwaukee. Will be at Milwaukee next weekend. And then the All-Star game is here. Mixed in, sandwiched between those two series, Pittsburgh.
You know, Pittsburgh is a good ball club, but they are struggling and under 500. Cardinals really need to take advantage of those games against teams under 500.
Braun hits it too short. Out at second, the turn, and safe at first. The Cardinals will take a long look here, see whether or not Braun was safe. Mike Matheny immediately over the railing on the top step. Everybody hold up. Well, I've got your attention.
But that's the way you do it.
I don't blame him.
You know, after last night, this is the way to do it instead of waiting almost a full minute before you notify the umpires that you possibly might, you know, have a challenge, and they won't. Thought he was clearly safe.
All right, Al, here we are, a couple of seasons into replay.
That looked a lot closer than what I thought it was.
Initially, I thought he was out. Are you happy with it? Do you like it?
I still got mixed emotions. And part of it, like I said, we saw one of the things that I think is good for baseball. An old-fashioned argument last night between the manager and a home plate umpire. Somewhere there that, you know, what was it, Mike's 12th ejection during his managerial career in his 5th year. And I still will say he probably has never said a bad word in all those ejections. But he's made his point emphatic a couple times, and maybe a too long in arguing a point and got the ejection. Something about the pace of play.
Sure.
You know, they're so concerned about pace of play, and then you enter in some challenges.
Second strikeout of Lucroy, and number 3 tonight for Jaime. up with his foot and ankle the other night. With more on that, let's check in with Jim.
Yeah, he's got that left ankle bruise. He told me it still looks, quote, scary, but he's fine to play on it. He took some swings earlier in the day, Dan, and said he was ready to go. If Mike Matheny had put him in the starting lineup, he would have been fine.
How about Colton Wong, Jim? And we see him in left. We see him now in center field. And he's very, very close with Randall Grichuk. And Grichuk hit a home run yesterday at AAA Memphis. Just how has that been massaged by Colton Wong with a good friend and a teammate?
Well, we had Colton on the pregame show, and I asked him first if he considered himself outfielder or infielder now, and he said he considers himself a baseball player. Colton has been used exclusively as an outfielder since his recall, and he says he's getting more confident there. You mentioned he's really good friends with Randall Grichuk, who was the Cardinal center fielder before being optioned to Memphis. Colton told me they remain great friends, still talk and text all the time. In fact, Colton told me he told Grichuk, referring to center field, that is your position. I'm just holding it down until you get back.
Peralta with a drive into right field, and the catch is made near the wall. Always interesting to see the interaction with teammates, guys pulling for each other, but you're also, it's such an individual game, you know, trying to do best for yourself too.
Yeah, it's and what you usually find is on winning teams, you got teammates that pull for each other even when you're competing for the same job. On losing teams, you know, somebody sitting on the bench may be pulling against the guy that's out there because he wants to play. Everybody wants to play. But you know what? During the course of the year, you kind of know when you're supposed to play. You know who the thoroughbreds are that play every day, and who the guys that are going to be what we call the scrabinis. They kind of have to stay ready some way, somehow, and then when they get their chance, they go out there and do the best they can, but you know, probably it's only going to be for a day or two.
I think what's been disappointing for the Cardinals, obviously what they've done here at home, but the Cubs are 4-7 in their last 11, and the Cardinals start play tonight still 11 games out.
Yeah, they have not been able to take advantage of the Cubs. And I mean, at the Cardinals field, they, you know, if you can whittle off a few games, and then you kind of see what happens to that club. And as every club's going to go through at least a long losing streak, hopefully a couple of them, since Cardinals aren't taking advantage of this one.
3-1 on Adams. Tonight the Mets lead Chicago 7-1. Hamill 4 innings, 7 earned. He's given up 13 earned in his last 3 starts. So you get a look at our Chevrolet Fox tracks. And he walked him. Cardinal fans, next time you want to grab seats, get the StubHub app. Not only will you find seats you'll love, whenever you want, you can find the best seat for your buck when you sort by the best value. So, get the StubHub app today. Third walk issued by Garza.
Biggest hit of the game was Yachty last time up. Single up the middle.
That was part of that 5-run 4th inning for the Cardinals. Molina with an RBI base hit, run scored, and also lined out.
How about
even
that
there?
throw?
Just looking at the throw.
That's what I'm saying. Take advantage of it. That is a struggle to throw over, isn't it?
It's hard to understand.
Yeah,
isn't it,
I mean, how can a guy throw to home plate, but throwing a shorter distance?
And Al, not just throw to home plate, but throw to either side of the plate. These guys, for the most part, pinpoint control, and they do it at 90, 93 miles an hour, 95, some of them, but they can't throw to first base.
There's a couple places on the east side that are looking for Garza to audition. There's a cat calls from the crowd. They were pretty thrilled with that.
I don't know what you're talking about. There's a double play ball, and Molina steps on the bag and avoids a tag.
Never been to the east side and wouldn't buy the act. Scooter Gennett, he knew Yachty was throwing. He knew that if he got it someplace over there, he had a chance, but it looked like he'd been taking throwing lessons from Garza.
Chopped foul. Al will be happy to stop by any local church group, make a visit, say hello, and talk a little Cardinals baseball whenever you need. And the 1-1 pitch to Pham, taken high.
Garza signed the biggest free agent contract by a pitcher in Milwaukee's history.
And that's it out of play.
Payroll this year started out, I think, around $56 million. It'll be very interesting to see if Lucroy and Braun stay with this ball club.
Three and two, the count on Tommy Pham. 2 outs and a runner at first.
Last time on a 3-2 pitch threw a fastball that was down for ball 4. Tommy's had great success against Milwaukee pitching.
3-2 pitch hit up the middle. VR to his left. And a low throw and a scoop by Carter. Packed house tonight at Busch Stadium. Big crowd over at Ballpark Village. Redbirds on top. St. Louis. Chris Carter, Hernan Perez, Scooter Gennett for Milwaukee. Kubota power stats. He has hit a home run here tonight, a solo shot to center. Their home run leader this year with 20. Ryan Braun with 13, Lucroy 10, and Scooter Gennett with 7. Cardinals about hit the Brewers 7-3 in this game, and they lead it 6-1. Trying to snap this 7-game home losing streak. Cardinals have committed an error tonight, now up to 63. 28 unearned runs. Last year they had a total of 96 errors, 47 unearned runs. The team that has committed more errors in Cardinals history at this point, there's only one, the 1976 team. Hector Cruz led the team in errors with 26. The brother of Jose and Tommy, uncle of Jose Cruz Jr. Probably somebody you know.
Oh, I know them all. I played with all three of them. Tommy, whose real name is Cirilio. I was on that 76 team when Hector made all those errors at third base.
Just saw that shot, and where they have outside Ballpark Village, that infield out there, that mound is actually where the mound was for Busch Stadium 2, and home plate situated at the exact spot of Busch Stadium 2 as well, as Carter swings and misses.
Now that's free, isn't it?
Absolutely.
All the kids, families come out there. Feel like they're part of the action.
Carter swings and misses. 4 strikeouts tonight for Garcia. High-end Regency St. Louis at the Arch, offering an incredible Cardinals package this season that includes overnight accommodations, tickets to a weekend home game, personalized Louisville Slugger bat, and a $25 food and beverage credit to Brewhouse or Red Kitchen and Bar. Book today, 314-655-1234. Visit their website, stlouisarch.hyatt.com. Those two just met each other. Got the fireman helmet out. One and two. Garcia, that changeup has been working here tonight.
Always seems like it works when he's pitching at home, and he said he's got 10 wins against Milwaukee, 10 against Cincinnati. Those are his high point against any teams.
And a strike to Perez. 5th strikeout for Jaime Garcia. 3 in a row. Scooter Gennett is lined out to third, and Johnny Peralta also grounded into a fielder's choice. He's 0 for 2 tonight. 2 outs and nobody on. Outfield is shallow. First pitch to him. Hit to third, and there's Peralta. Another ground ball out for Jaime Garcia. Sends us to the bottom of the 6th. It'll be Garcia and the top of the Cardinals lineup when we come back. Guys have come up with a good shot, and that is Trinket City. Late 1970s. Cardinals VP Marty Hendon started taping up pictures, celebrities who visited the ballpark. Then it was the giveaway pins and bobbleheads, and he was off to the races and collecting all those different items, and a look at Cardinals history and the giveaways and the celebrities throughout the year. And he saved that for so many years. Marty passed away, unfortunately, January of 2008. And Trinket City has found a new home next to the umpire's room, which you just saw. And it's also on the campus of UMSL, where he attended school, for those to take it in.
Yeah, there's just a small portion of it. There's a picture of his room, actually, and you really literally had trouble even getting into the room. Any giveaway they ever had, any prototype that was ever sold or thought about, he had it.
Garcia strikes out. So if you've ever been to the ballpark in the last 30 years, you more than likely met Marty Hendon. Wonderful man. We miss him dearly. There's a look at the office.
Yeah, there's the office, and I mean, it was just on the floor. There was everything. I don't know how Marty even got into his desk, but he knew where every item was inside that room. Marty
unique items too, very unique items.
Yeah, well, I mean, like I said, if anything, they had the logo of the Cardinals. That prototype was sent to him, and some that they approved, some they didn't approve. He had every one of them. And
they said that when he passed away, there were 45 full boxes of trinkets and pens and pennants and signed baseballs, and the photos of the celebrities that came through. And Marty was huge in philanthropy and making sure the Cardinals were part of the community and part of so many associations that needed help, needed exposure, needed tickets, needed money raised. He was there.
He was there at everything. And I mean, he took the losses harder than the players. Of course, the players can't take it that hard because they got to be ready for the next day. But
Carpenter with a high drive into deep right field. This may go. It's at the wall. Caught at the top of the wall. It's the second time in the last 3 nights that Matt Carpenter has hit one to the top of the wall, but not over the wall. There's out number 2.
You can't believe it.
Marty, by the way, also, it was his idea to start Fredbird, and that was born in April of 1979. And Fredbird is a part of over 600 events every year. And after the '94 strike, Fredbird asked then manager Joe Torre if he could fire T-shirts into the crowd as a way to kind of, get the fans going again after the strike and welcome them back. And Joe Torre said yes, and it's a staple of Cardinal baseball anytime you come to Busch Stadium.
I asked Marty one time what his claim to fame was. I said, what do you really do here? And he goes, well, I invented Fredbird, and I had the I love Robaski Habana Hade. And I said, and they haven't fired you?
Brock Abrella. So many of those ideas.
That was lose.
What a neat man.
Marty took claim for a lot of things. And Rhonda is his lovely wife, still a big Cardinal fan, and still thought of as part of the family. But his office was quite unique.
The 2-1 pitch. Diaz chops it too short. VR backing up, long throw, and he beat it out. Second time he has done that tonight with a ball that's been hit to short.
There was an error that one time, but he leads the National League now with 17 infield hits, and a lot of clubs don't realize that he runs as well as he does. Right-handed batter, but he gets down the line. So, when VR backed up, he's got a strong throwing arm, but he backed up on it. That was all the time he needed to get across the bat.
could be your rookie of the year. BJC Healthcare difference maker. Rookies leading the team in average. Have to go back to 01. Albert Pujols 329 that season. Bake McBride on that list. Some big names. Rogers, Hornsby. Here's Holiday.
Danny, you weren't old enough to really see Bake McBride in his prime, were you?
Tail end of his career.
But Bake McBride that first year, I mean, he just, what a super guy. Fulton Flash from Callaway County. And just, you know, he almost in many ways very different than Willie McGee, but almost had a lot of the mannerisms of walking and sort of like as the hitter and everything. But it was fun playing with Bake.
Lucroy wanted the fastball. He was shook off 3 times, and Garza going with the breaking ball. That ball slipped out of his hands.
A lot of times, you know, he's sitting there. He wanted to throw a curveball, but then because his catcher called it 3 times, then he usually, you know, you start doubting it a little bit. There it slipped, or he didn't pull it down, and of course, Lucroy can say, "See, that's why I wanted to throw the fastball." Sinker in, didn't want it, didn't want the fastball away. Looks like the slider.
1-1 pitch. And it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Marty was really involved with the Asthma and Allergy Foundation of St. Louis, and clearly when you're in the middle of the country with the heat and humidity that we deal with here in St. Louis, it's a problem. A lot of kids miss school. Marty raised hundreds of thousands of dollars for that great foundation here in St. Louis.
Slider
so many
again.
other charities. 1-2. And Holiday rips it out to center field. This ball is off the wall. A run will score as Diaz is flying in. This will make it 7-1, and Holiday picks up the RBI double. 15th double of the year.
It's his 33rd RBI this game and 50 on the season. Matt Holliday's had great success against Garza and a multi-hit game, 3 RBIs. Broxton, by jumping up like that, slows him down, and then he got so close to the wall, Karam got over his head. And look at Diaz run. That was maybe one of the most surprising things to us, is we didn't realize he was that fast.
Be part of a double switch for Craig Counsell. It's all Cardinals here in game 1 of this weekend series. Garza will be through, and Brandon Moss will be the hitter when we come back.
bullpen. Marlins is coming in here, his 15th appearance, 3.05 ERA. He's given up more hits than innings pitched. Holiday put the crowning blow on Garza, who's responsible for that run out there. Look at this blast out here over the head of the center fielder. And it gets over his head. Diaz was going to score easily on the double by Holiday, and he drives in his 3rd run of the game.
Brings in Moss, who is walked, grounded out, and struck out. Marinez is the new pitcher to face Brandon Moss. Two outs, runner at second base. That's Holiday. And Moss pulls it foul.
Jack Elmore replaces Garza. He'll be batting 8th and playing second base as Scooter Gennett came out as part of the double switch. Jake Elmore.
And the 0-1 pitch to Moss. Hall of Fame writer Rick Hummel. There he is on the right. Derek Gould there on the left. Started working at the St. Louis Post-Dispatch 45 years ago today. And still one of the most respected and best baseball writers in America. Hall of Famer Rick Hummel. 45 years. Still going strong. One of our favorites. We call him the commish. Congratulations to Rick. 45 years.
Seven to 1 behind Garcia, who's pitched very, very well tonight. He did give up a home run to Carter early in the ball game, but you look at his pitching line, a ton of ground balls. Then he's got a decent number of strikeouts. Only 3 hits allowed, 1 run, 3 walks, and 5 strikeouts. But the offense has really come on strong tonight, and he even helped his own Cubs as Garcia singled into a run. That was back in their 5-run 4th inning. How about Garcia tonight? 5 strikeouts, a whole ton of ground balls in this game. But why would you expect anything different? He's facing Milwaukee. The only thing different is Cardinals scored a bunch of runs tonight. They haven't scored this many runs at home for quite a while.
So tell me about Rick Hummel when he was covering the Mad Hungarian.
Rick Hummel was, he was just a Cub back then, but he was always very fair. I think everybody respected Rick. I can remember certain times where somebody And I think it's true about this marketplace. I always say Cardinal fans really want to see the best. They don't want to see the trash and the bad things of ball players. They want to like their ball players. And I can remember a couple times where a player in the heat of
Little chopper to short. Diaz got him. Speedy Broxton.
But in the heat of the battle, you know, somebody would say something, Rick would go up, write a story, come back down before he finalized that story and said, now this is what you said. You want to stand by that? And the guy had a cooling off period and said, you know, no, I don't want to do that. But Rick was always kind enough, knew that there were times somebody would step out of bounds and out of character and say something that they really didn't mean. And he always gave you that opportunity to clean it up before he printed. You can't say that about everybody else.
The thing I love is the way that he tells the story of the Cardinals franchise and the history and the relationships that he has with Whitey, Ozzie, Bob Gibson, Lou Brock, and how comfortable they are in expressing themselves to him.
You know, there was a period of time where the Post took him off the beat.
Into center field and a base hit.
And they said he wasn't critical enough. And it's my understanding, Rick said, look, I've spent, at that time, it was 30+ years building relationships with these people, and I'm not going to go out there and change the way I write. And he was off the beat, and during that time, he became a Hall of Fame writer and made the Post, I think, look pretty silly. So he's back to writing baseball stories. You know, he did some more of a national scene there for a while, but he's a former president of the National Baseball Writers Association. The current one is Derek Gould. So, you know, we do have some of the best writers here all time.
Many years, Joe Strauss, and boy, we miss Joe.
Well, not only that, but, you know, old timers, think about Bob Gregg, and, you know, Hall of Fame writer there. Go back to Jack Herman, Neil Russo. Forgetting the old Globe, right? Columnist Bob. His name was Bob too, but he and Jack Herman, or I mean. Bob Gregg, you know, really great. Bob Burns, the bench warmer. That was his nickname in his column.
Bob Gregg was huge on KMOX radio for a number of years too. Swung on and missed by BR. Top of the lineup here for Milwaukee.
The big breaking ball. I want to leave it up there, but when they swing through it, so be it.
2 balls, 2 strikes with 1 out and a runner at first. Fouled back. VR tonight is single to left, grounded out to short, grounded out to third. Cardinals trying to get Garcia at least through 7, maybe 8 tonight. Pitch count is at 84.
Only allowed 3 hits. Hit 2 and 3 have come back in the 2nd inning.
Breaking ball in the dirt.
And then the one this inning.
Brewers picked up a run in the 2nd inning, and that has been it. Solo home run hit by Chris Carter. And that's taken inside. Full day of baseball tomorrow on Fox Sports Midwest, Fox and FS1. Cardinals continue their series with Milwaukee. Will come your way at 12:30 with our pregame show. Then it's baseball night in America. Cubs and Mets. That's at 6 on Fox, followed by the Yankees and Padres at 8:30 on FS1. Or watch all the games live on Fox Sports Go. Brings in Aaron Hill with all the ground balls that Garcia has induced tonight. He'd love another one and get that double play. That's it out of play. Good sinking action tonight from Garcia. He's also had, as you get a look at Bowman getting loose, a good changeup at times tonight too.
Well, he usually has good stuff, and he's got away with some pitches up. But normally, you know, always think about low in the zone, and the ball just have terrific movement when it's down.
Here's an 0-1 pitch. Hit up the middle, off of Garcia to Diaz, out there on to first, double play. 1, 6, 4, 3. Not how you draw it up, but Jaime will take it, and it's time to stretch. Seventh of 7-1 here in game 1 of this weekend series against Milwaukee. And here's a look at the double play moments ago off the foot of Garcia. Diaz, little spin on that baseball and a nice turn made by Carpenter.
Right around the toe and the foot there. We'll see. Ryan Braun didn't seem to get down the line very quickly on that one.
Hill.
Excuse me.
That pitch taken inside. Gateway Honda home run inning. Cardinals hit a home run. The Gateway Honda dealers donate $1,000 to the Make-A-Wish Foundation. As Peralta breaks his bat on a hop hit to third. There's one away. I was thinking Hill maybe thought that was going through the box and it's a base hit because he's out by a couple of steps on a ball that he just normally wouldn't think that would be the case.
Might have thought the deflection was going to be in where Diaz wouldn't be able to get to it because he did change direction on it, but we like it the way it resulted.
Here's Matt Adams. And the first pitch is hit off the end of the bat to center for out number 2. Won a great deal on tickets. Phillip at Phillip 66, 8 gallons or more now until September 29th. Receive up to 50% off on a pair of tickets to a Cardinals home game. For more information, visit cardinals.com/Phillips66. 2 outs and nobody on for Yadier Molina.
Yadi 1 for 3. Drove in the first run, back there in the 5-run fourth.
Here's a 2-1 pitch with 2 outs and nobody on.
Now Martinez, who was acquired from Tampa Bay in exchange for cash on May the 12th. So he's got a pretty good arm.
3-1 pitch to Yadi. Driven into center field for a base hit. Molina's had a nice night.
Watch Yadi now, 1 hit away from 1,500 in his career. Not a whole lot of catchers in Major League history have hit that many. Nice pretty swing right there. The ball up and level swing right back under central. Both his base hits have been right up the middle.
Two outs and a runner at first base, and here's Tommy Pham. First pitch, a strike. Walked and scored back in inning number 4. Usually about this time of night, they'll have the announcement that the crowd is 41, 42, sometimes 44,000, and the big lead of 7-1. Many of these fans will head for the exits.
Right, there's fireworks tonight.
Ah, fireworks. That'll keep them in the seats.
And they got their 1926 championship ring, World Series ring. That was the first of 11 World Championships for the Cardinals. What a great idea those have been.
They have the rings in the collector set with the beer steins too at the championship teams. One of those is coming up. I'm looking forward to seeing the 06 team back here in St. Louis. Some of those players we haven't seen in a long time.
See how their bodies change, right?
Well, you go
it's
from playing
10 years,
162 to maybe just relaxing on the couch, and things can change.
You guys got like Eckstein, doesn't look like he's aged a bit.
1 ball, 2 strikes. And that's a base hit into right field. Molina to second, and he stops there.
This is the offense we've expected from the Cardinals.
Back-to-back singles are crowd tonight. 42,987. 42,987.
What do they consider a sellout? 44?
Right over 44, yeah. And also it includes the seats in the AT rooftop deck, Cardinals Nation. So it's added on to the capacity.
Last several years, never played before a crowd below 40,000.
2 outs and 2 on. The high chopper to first. It's off the bag and right into the glove of Carter. We head to the 8th. Those youngsters having some fun. And fireworks coming up. Can't get any better. looking forward to the post-game show. Jaime Garcia pitching into the 8th. Everything going right. Rick Horton right now working on his hair along with Scott Warman. The final touches of makeup. Doesn't get much better on a weekend and a Friday night.
Now, don't you ever say that about me over there, because you know better.
I only say nice things because I realize at some point you will be back in this seat. And then you'll question me about what I said.
Never you, Danny.
You're not as physical with me as you once were.
Well, you were a little. You were a little teenage brat then.
That's right. I began when I was 11.
That's right.
Take a swift kick, punch, headlock. Sometimes you'd hold me out over the booth, bring me back in. Garcia pitching into the top of the 8th. Little chopper to the right side. Adams to Garcia. Nice play. He's not on the bag.
Boy, we thought he stepped on the bag when he jumped up to get the high throw, but as soon as he turned back and looked at it, we knew he missed it and couldn't sell it to the home or first base umpire, Sean Barber. That's just one of those little miscues, you know, where don't let him get up there, underhand pitch, and he misses it. You ideally want to throw the ball about chest high. Eight there in the last 3 games.
So 2 errors aside, Cardinals about to hit the Brewers 11-4. They lead this ball game by the score of 7-1. From a pitching perspective and a play like that, you make a good pitch against one of the top hitters in the league. That's got to be frustrating.
Yeah, it is. And you know, usually when we get the first out, you're well on your way to a successful and shutout inning. That'll get Bowman in the bullpen back active. That 91 pitches, you know. Were you a little surprised he went back out here for the 8th inning?
Yeah.
And you know the reason you say that because they got the big lead. It's a long season. You know, you really don't pay pitchers today for, you know, shutouts. And he's gone deep enough into this ball game to where, you know, you could turn it over to the bullpen. You got guys like Bowman and others that could use the work down there.
On a hop to short, double play ball. 6-4-3. The second double play turned in the last 2 innings.
Danny, is that 13 double plays that Garcia has induced? He came in tied for 5th most in the National League. He's now at 13. Carlos Martinez leads with 18.
How good has Diaz looked tonight?
Oh, he's been outstanding. Really, other than the first couple weeks, you know, he's really settled in. And talk about that one disastrous game in LA that he had 3 errors in a game. I thought a couple of those could have been, you know, scored base hits.
Agreed. Tough plays, could have gone either way, and it went against him. Give him credit though, as the errors piled up on Aledmys Diaz, that did not take away how aggressive he played, and they made the change with him really coming in on a lot of balls too.
And you know, Johnny Peralta talked about it, how what a smart kid he is and how much he wants to learn and be better and better.
Two-0 pitch to Carter, who is homered in this game. Taps it foul. 2 strikes, 2-2 the count.
It's the last time we had the wave here.
And a strikeout for Jaime Garcia. Baseball is brought to you by Bud Light Lime and by Ford, the official cars and trucks of the St. Louis Cardinals. 7-1 St. Louis. Well, they're having some fun here tonight. Cardinals with a lead of 7-1 here in the bottom of the 8th. Reynes, his Hyundai pitch arsenal, 3rd inning of work for this right-hander. And he'll get the top of the lineup for the Cardinals. Couple of singles, runs scored, RBI for Carpenter tonight, 2 for 4. What else is new?
Yeah.
Two and 0 the count. Shift is on and a 2-0 pitch. 3-0. Right-hander getting loose for the Milwaukee Brewers.
Former Cardinal Blaine Boyer.
Interesting, at least at this point, nobody up and throwing in the Cardinals pen. That may change with an out or two. You have to think that Bowman is plenty loose. Maybe just needs a couple of tosses and then he'll come in this game.
You might see him get 2 outs and then he get back up.
3-1 pitch. 3-2. And it's a leadoff walk. Take it back to the 4th inning, and it was a big inning for the Cardinals. These are our Nissan drives of the game, as Diaz will dig in. Jaime Garcia got in the act with a bases loaded single. So did Carpenter. As the Cardinals got to Garza. That was a big hit there with 2 outs off the bat of Holiday. That would have ended the inning if the shortstop is playing near the bag in second.
2 runners scored on that one.
And a 5-run inning for the Cardinals. Strike to Diaz. He came up with the bases loaded in that inning and took pitches just like that. Didn't like it. Those low strikes. Was called out. He was ahead in the count, 3 balls, 1 strike, and then eventually punched out by home plate umpire Jerry Meals.
Two for 4. Just continues to hit and impress people. .319 average. A lot of people are now recognizing that he may be the leading candidate for National League Player Rookie of the Year.
Trevor Story a part of that conversation, the shortstop of Colorado.
1,000 strikeouts. So Diaz now in double figures in home runs. His RBI count is, is impressive.
Double play ball out at second. Quick turn. Nice turn. And there's 2 down.
And a pair of hits, 3 RBIs on the night. 2 for 4.
With 2 outs, Bowman up quickly. Garcia, by the way, 4 complete games in his career. 2 of those have been against Milwaukee.
Including 1 this year.
Fastball at 95 taken inside. Come your way tomorrow at 12:30 with the pregame show. Adam Wainwright and Jimmy Nelson. Michael Wacha, Chase Anderson on Sunday. Then for the 4th of July, still some good seats remain. Carlos Martinez take on Jonathan Neese, and the Pirates will be in for the first of 4. There's a look at Carlos, who has pitched really well. Two and 1 the count. Just had a fan tweet at me, Al, and they sent me a picture of Busch Stadium back in 1971, right in the middle of the game. Look at how empty the stadium is.
Oh,
it's unbelievable.
Dan, you can. I mean, I've seen so many pictures, like with Gibson pitching, and it'll be from the side, and you'll look at the past the third base, and they're just empty. We just didn't draw people. Baseball was. It was the owner's hobby. They didn't promote the game the way they do today.
70's not a great year, but 71 coming off the great decade of the 60s. This copyrighted telecast presented by the authority of the Cardinals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals.
And I think you got to remember too is I believe 71 was the first first labor strike, or we were locked out, spring training, and you started having labor wars. Thank goodness we've had such labor peace. This is now over a $9 billion entity, though, so there should be enough money for both sides to figure out.
Just retweeted that, and I'm sure some of our younger fans will see it, because those that are, say, 20 years old really don't know what bad baseball is here in St. Louis. 1996, the Cardinals won. 97, a couple of months of McGuire. 98, hit 70. 99, hit 65. 2001, 2. Postseason play, mathematically alive in 03 in the final weekend. 04 and 05 back-to-back 100-win seasons. 06 World Series. I mean, the list goes on and on. It's been a great 2 decades of baseball here in St. Louis. Cardinals leading game 1. A big crowd here tonight. Tonight, guys, and also the offense. 11 hits tonight, 7 runs. Our Chevy called to the pen. Bowman in relief of tonight's starter. 24th appearance for Matt Bowman. He'll try to finish this off, and the Cardinals win game 1 and snap that 7-game home losing skid. Hernan Perez, first hitter. Brian Pena takes over behind the plate.
Bowman right here. He's done a nice job. Second National League relievers with a 65-point-plus.
Wow, look at that play by Diaz.
And ground balls. And Diaz, who's had quite a night defensively, has been outstanding right there. Really had to come in very aggressively and throw on the run. He has been outstanding. What you've seen tonight is the upside of, and it's a huge upside, both offensively and defensively for Diaz. As Peralta says, he goes, I will probably never play third base on a regular basis through the rest of his Cardinal contract. Hyundai pitch arsenal for Matt Bowman. Fastballs, they're a very good sinker. Like I said, he's second among National League relievers with a 65.6% of ground balls, and that was before the one he just got. See Yachty get out there with a day game tomorrow, get a little breather. Even if it's just one inning, it makes a difference. Flores is the pinch hitter here.
Back to Bowman. Knocks it down, stays with it. 2 away. Our Budweiser player of the game, Jaime Garcia. 8 innings tonight, 4 hits. Gave up a run, 4 walks, 6 strikeouts. And Garcia a chance to even up his record at 6-6.
Cardinals about to end that 7-game losing streak at home. Just unfathomable.
Keon Buxton looks at a ball. (2-0).
Slider there just off the plate. Rule 5 pick, and he has proved to be very valuable to the Cardinals.
(2-0) pitch. This should do it. The 7-game losing skid at home comes to a close, and the Cardinals win it 7-1.
Good ball game here. The Cardinals did make a couple errors, but they had a ton of offense, and they got a great start from Jaime Garcia. He wins his 11th time against the Milwaukee Brewers. That's a new career high, and wins against one team. And a good overwhelming victory for these fans. So let's hope we can see more of this weekend, and then against the Pirates.
Post-game show comes your way next. 7-1 the final.